the director of the economic department of Florence. I'm really happy to say you good morning also in this our second day of webinar of the our Interact project Craft Code. We would like to be together in Vasa, but we are sorry about the epidemic. We are everyone in our office or home, and we hope all stay well. But we want to know to continue to work for our handcraft and to know how we can improve the innovative business model and process of our art. That is one of the important pillar of our cities and community. Yesterday we were together and it was really interesting to hear about different projects. In the beginning we were in Ireland, and then with 3 different projects about the aircraft, and then in Spain with 2 projects, and in the end in Bulgaria. So like every time in the Interreg project, is really interesting to understand how every different of us can do something for our community. So good morning, everyone, and let's start our job.
Say something now. Good morning, everybody, and I'm very happy that you are in Vasa, in Ostrobothnia, in Finland, not physically, but at least virtually. And I'm going to share you a short PowerPoint presentation. So I hope this works well. If you don't see it, so please tell me. When we are in Finland, this is usually what we will present to our guests, international guests. We are telling some facts about the inhabitants, the languages that are spoken here, and the area. We are showing the maps for you. And here is the region of Ostrobothnia on the map, and where we are situated in Finland on the western coast. Originally in the plan, we had the study visits to very interesting places according to CRAFTS here in our sub-region, Vaasan Seutu, around the city of Vaasa and also in the archipelago. And then if we had the possibility to do it, so I don't know what has happened because I can move this. Okay, let's do it. I stop sharing and start again. So if I'm lucky, so it will work. So I think I have to do it like this, not share the slide for the whole screen. These are usually the pictures we are showing, and the scenery the international guests will be shown. But because we are not able to do it right now, today, so the thing, what I'm going to do now, we are doing something different. I'm going to show you the path of Edwin. And the path of Edwin is located in Vaasa in a suburb called Asevelikylä, and that's a place where I live. And like everybody else, I've been working mostly in my home office, which means my kitchen at home. But when this pandemic lockdown started on 16th March, so I decided that I will walk to my work every morning, and I walked through the path of Edwin every morning, and I took a picture of all the artworks that are located around this path. Edwin Hevonkoski was a sculptor and an outsider artist who died about 10 years ago. And this is the first artwork he made. It's a famous Finnish writer, Alexis Kivi, wrote a book called Seven Brothers, and these are the seven brothers shouting on a very big rock. And these artworks are made of all kind of material that Edwin found in the nature that was free material. He didn't buy anything for his works, and these are the animals that he has made of pieces of woods. And the second slide, when it comes, it's about metal, different characters, and also some bigger animals around the path. Horses were very famous and interesting for him. Then he also made some human beings about wood, pieces of wood, and also of some fictional characters, some mixture of human beings and some creatures, aliens, or whatever they are. And then when the next one is coming, here some big characters of human beings, of metal, and also characters of famous celebrities in Finland. Every Finnish people know who these persons are. That's our former president, Tarja Halonen, and her husband. And birds were also very important for Edwin, and he has very many different kind of sculptures of birds. So this is the short virtual tour around Edwin's path of Edwin, and you are very welcome to visit the path of Edwin when you are visiting Finland physically, not only virtually. For more information about this path of Edwin, you can find behind these links. The first one is a documentary film that was published 2010, 1 year after, approximately 1 year after Edwin's death. And it's if I remember right, there are English subtitles, so it's very easy to follow, and it's very interesting. But I watched that yesterday, so I see that there are many things that are different now than it was then. But it's still interesting because there are some researchers also interviewed about Edwin's works. The second link is my private Instagram account, but it's everything I publish there is public. So if you are interested to see more about and more Edwin's artworks, so you are welcome to visit my Instagram account. Altogether, there should be about 200 artworks available in the around the path of Edwin and the small park there. I hope this pandemic and COVID time is over sooner than I have time to photograph all the artworks. And the last link here is the Saara Visit Vaasa YouTube video that was shown yesterday. So if there are some participants who didn't participate yesterday, so you can go to the YouTube channel and see the video that was shown to the participant yesterday morning. So thank you, everybody. And maybe the other Finnish partner, Muova, Tanja Oravita, who represents Muova, will probably say a few words before we go on to the program of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tarja, and welcome to everyone on my behalf as well. It is lovely to have you here today as well. And of course, we even more lovely to have you all here in Vaasa, but I hope this presentation showed a little bit more of some of the aspects that are around here, which are also linked to the culture. So I try to add people as much as I can. I also try to document the participants here, well, the number of us. And if there would be any delay, please be patient. I try to be slightly octopus here with my hands, but well, with two hands, it might be sometimes slightly limited, but I try to be there to you as much as I can. So thank you and have a lovely event.
Okay, thank you, Tanja. Good morning to everybody. Voila, where am I? Trying to put on the video. Good morning, everybody. Good morning on our second day of this very interesting transnational training session. I will take you one moment back to what we saw yesterday and then take you to introduce to what we're going to see today. But first of all, a major thank you to all the participants. You have been such a good inspiration to us. Your many questions, remarks, your feedback, your reactions, they will last longer in this project, and we will talk about them later on in next meetings. Maybe we told this already yesterday, but I will repeat it. This session and also the one of yesterday, the sessions are recorded, and also the chat conversations are registered so that everybody later on through the website will be able to go back and check some things, websites, answers, questions, etc. So yesterday, we saw 6 presentations, 3 by Ireland, 1 by Hungary, and 2 by Spain. And when I looked back to my notes, I tried to find the red line between these stories, and I think I might have found it. The central word and the central idea of all these presentations is the quality that the crafts people want to bring to the world. So first, we had a presentation by Ireland, a program called Optimize, and this was brought by the Design and Crafts Council of Ireland. What they offer to crafts people is a full supporting system with a focus on digitalization, which of course today is very actual. They said in the presentation there is not only the need for this digitalization, but there's also the hunger from the crafts people. They want to learn this. They also spoke, Kieran spoke about the fact that they are resilient, and this is becoming very clear in this period of COVID. Then we moved on to 3 examples of individual or more individual crafts work. And the first example was in Spain. It was the jewelry production of Mizui, which is a high-end brand of jewelry based upon a long tradition of jewelry making and with new and contemporary influences. A lot of attention to sustainability and respect for both the arts person, the crafts person, and the public that will buy. Secondly, also an example of Spain was the combination of craftspeople on the one hand and chefs and hospitality sector on the other hand. And we saw these wonderful examples of how they can create a synergy between them. This, of course, can function as an inspiration to other fields, crafts fields and outside, to combine in a new synergy and bring out a new type of economy, always with high quality standards. This also came through in the second presentation of Spain. And then we had a presentation by Velimira from Bulgaria, and she spoke about this one craftsperson who takes up the whole process on his shoulders. So not only does he start with the clay, he has also made the machinery to work this clay, and he takes care of the marketing to sell these products that he makes. He wants to keep his high quality products, so he takes care of the whole process himself, of course, then meeting certain problems which are logical if you're only one person in this whole process. So that was the day of yesterday. We saw a broad system of support in Ireland and then 3 examples of craftsmen. Today, we will have 4 more presentations, starting with 3 mentorship systems, 1 in Italy, 1 in Hungary, and 1 in Finland. And then there will be a 4th presentation, again about individual, independent craftspeople working in the Kvarken World Heritage Site. So I don't know if the person from Italy has arrived so far. Lucia, have you got, or Carlotta?
Yes, I just introduced the good practice of our next speaker. Our next speaker is Mr. Mashad Kogoli, and is a mentor. So he will tell us about the mentorship program that Murate Idea Park in Florence promote and implement as a good practice, as also an innovative approach to support handicraft. I would like first to thank Mashad, because he's actually in Canada. So I suppose actually it's night, I think 3 o'clock in the night. So I thank him twice for the participation, and I leave him the floor, and I think he will share a PowerPoint presentation. So the floor is yours, Mashad. Thank you very much for your participation and great help. Thank you.
My name is Mashad Kogoli, and I have been part of the Murate Idea Park, working with them as a mentor for a couple of years now. I'm going to talk about mentorship today and the process that we have developed around mentorship. I'll give you a brief overview of the Murate Idea Park at the beginning, what it is and what we do. Then I'll dive into the essence of mentorship. Who are the mentors? What do they do? I'll touch on the difference between mentoring and teaching, mentorship and training. And then I'll delve into mentorship as an institutionalized practice, its success factors, its enablers, and its challenges. I'll briefly describe the mentorship program in Murate Idea Park, how we have collected the pool of mentors, and how we actually manage the relationship between our organization, between the mentors and the entrepreneurs. Is this better now? Can you hear me okay? I hope so.
Yes, it's perfect.
Perfect. Couple of words about the Murate Idea Park. Murate Idea Park is a public-private collaborative project. It was born out of the School of Business Sciences and the Industrial Technologies in Florence. I have listed here a number of partners in the initiative, but the main point is that it's heavily supported, abated by various community organizations, including the municipality, the Chamber of Commerce, and so on. But MIP is really more than a business incubator. We are a community of many players. Startup and their founders are obviously our main clientele, but our message has also reached existing companies, innovative companies that want to maybe address new markets, get into new product lines, expand their existing product services. It is obviously a place where we actively seek out, collect, cultivate mentors and coaches, as we will talk about. And it has also become a harvesting ground for VCs and investment angels. They can identify and support new or existing businesses for investment. So who are these mentors? At a very high level, mentors are experienced individuals, experienced in the relevant areas of the industry, in the investment area, or they have actually themselves created and grown companies, businesses. They don't get compensated. They work pro bono. They don't have an expectation of a reward or compensation. Obviously, they have been around for a while, so they have a lot of knowledge. They do share that knowledge freely with their mentees. And they have also gathered a lot of networks and connections, and they can open those connections, those networks with the organizations, with the entrepreneurs when needed. And mentors are really counselors on the same level as the entrepreneurs that they mentor. They counsel them on new knowledge. They basically try to look out for their strengths as well as the holes in the entrepreneur's knowledge base. And they try to bring in new knowledge, new perspective, new way of looking at problems. They ask challenging questions and in the process open up new possibilities, new ways of looking at the problems. For the entrepreneurs. Obviously, they provide encouragement, and we'll talk about that later on, and they help the mentee move forward, making important decisions around complex problems, but not making the decisions for them, as we will see. Let's talk about mentoring. Our view of the mentoring and how we systematically carve this process in our organization. Obviously, we started with what every other business support organization does, with courses and training. But we soon realized that we needed to go beyond that. Training is a formal process. We have teachers and we have students. Courses are generally held within a very rigid schedule of timing in a particular location, with the particular content. Training is necessary. It is focused on specific subjects. Here at Murate Idea Park, we have training courses on business planning, on how to make an investment pitch, how to identify, segment, and target the market, how to position vis-a-vis competition. To us, training is a hierarchical process. The teacher teaches and the student takes notes. Hopefully applies these notes later on to his or her situation in the business that they are involved with. What's missing is a sounding board. We know that the startups are lonely businesses. Founders feel alone, not because they are antisocial or they don't have friends, but because they lack that sounding board, that chat with a trusted friend or a trusted someone that can trigger thoughts, that can let them look at a problem in a new way, let them answer a difficult question on their own. That's basically the role of the mentor. The knowledge transfer between the mentor and the mentee happens very subtly, in a very informal way. The mentor does not solve problems for the mentee. It doesn't make any decisions, business decisions for the entrepreneur. Unlike teaching or mentoring program, really relies on the mentee to lead the relationship. The mentee calls the mentor when she finds the need, opens up about the questions that hang over her business, about the latest challenges that face her business. And the mentor really is there to ask poignant questions, talk about seemingly unsimilar situations, but in the process, giving the mentee a new perspective, letting her arrive at a solution that she's comfortable with. And unlike its teacher-student relationship, the mentor-mentee relationship is not hierarchical. It's in fact a trusted counselor relationship, which invariably leads to the creation of a bond between the mentor and the mentee. So far so good. But we needed to develop a process. We needed to address a number of challenges. First of all, we need to create a large pool of mentors, attract the candidates, find out more about them, and basically vet them. You need the right skill set and the right background, but more importantly, we need to see if they have that set of people's skills, that interaction intelligence. Also, we need to find out what motivates them. Remember, I mentioned that the mentors are not paid, they work pro bono. Another factor to consider is the readiness of the entrepreneur, the mentee, to be mentored. You can't help someone that doesn't believe they need help. And what we do here is talk to the entrepreneurs about mentorship. We put them in touch with other founders that have been mentored in the past. And typically, they can see the value of a mentor associated with their venture fairly quickly. Of course, the mentor is selected by the entrepreneur. We don't push a mentor on someone. Yes, we do facilitate it by providing opportunities for the founders to meet mentors within a couple of sessions. Typically, the right mentor-mentee couples emerge. And by the way, it is possible that an entrepreneur ends up with more than one mentor, depending on the skill mix and the needs of the entrepreneur. And to make sure that the mentoring succeeds, we ensure that there are regular encounters, checkpoints in this process. We have gatherings between the mentors themselves. They can exchange notes, talk about their challenges, their situations. We have meetings between MIP and the mentors to check on the progress of the companies and to find out about successes or any impediments in the mentoring process. Mentoring program in MIP started in very early days. It started in January of 2018. We started with a dozen or so mentors, and now we have just short of 70 mentors on our list. They come from a variety of backgrounds. I have listed some of them here. Some have formal training and coaching experience. Many have new business experience. They have developed their own companies. We have lawyers. We have marketing gurus, people with sales and business development backgrounds, operational people, investors, etc. We do have a number of general meetings where we meet with our mentors collectively, typically around or during our call for ideas, which is, and call for ideas is our way of finding and bringing new startups into the community. We just concluded our 6th call, received about 70 applications to be inducted in the MIP program. We also have individual meetings, as I said earlier, with the mentors on their specific companies. and on how the interaction with the entrepreneurs is moving on. Based on these interactions, then MIP can decide whether a business or an entrepreneur needs additional help and how do we provide that. And that's basically it. I'm going to wrap up my presentation. You can find out more about MIP or about our proposed mentorship best practice by checking the website in here, or just dropping us an email. Thank you very much. I hope that worked. Let me see if I can stop the sharing now.
Thank you very much, Mashad. This was extremely interesting, and the presentation was super transparent and clear to follow. Thank you for getting up at this unchristian hour of the day to share your knowledge and experience with us, because it is really valuable information. Thank you. I don't know, Carlotta, do you want to add something? Maybe not? Oh, okay.
Thank you so much for the presentation. It was really and so as usual, we remain at your disposal with supplementary info and so on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. As promised, we will move on now to Hungary, to Zsuzsi, who will present to us a mentoring system with a very beautiful name. It is called the Poppy Bulb Mentoring System. Zsuzsi, I will leave the floor to you.
I'm Zsuzsi Pani from Hungary. I live in Santander, which is a close little town to Budapest, and lots of artisans live here. And I started Poppy Bulb or Poppy Head mentoring project. And the point of it was that many people came to me that, well, you prosper so well in craft fairs and online, and could you please help me? So you all know the starving artists. You all know they make fantastic art. They make artwork, craft work. They are artisans, but they hardly ever make a living on it. And what I was always impressed at was their creativity, that how much creativity they have in their products, in what they make. And what I do is I try to educate them to use that switch in their head and use their creativity in their business, in doing marketing, in doing sales, PR, and so on. And I think the same creativity is needed for that they use for their products. Okay, so a little bit about myself. I launched my business Pani Zsuzsi with a shoebox of fusible glass. I make fused glass jewelry. That was in 2007, and the next spring I went to a craft fair where I sold much more than I was ever thought. And that summer I bought a kiln, and at that time I had 3 children. Since that I had 4. And I realized that I cannot go to shops, I cannot contract them, I have the little kids at home, so I needed another way to do business. And that's when I started going online, and basically the lack of this flexibility and mobility became my biggest strength, that I went online. And for this reason, in 2010, I made a postgraduate degree on online marketing, and the degree thesis was the Poppy Bulb project itself. So what I say about myself, I learned it. I still do it daily. I do the marketing for my brand myself, and I also teach it. The name of the Makubo, it's very interesting, and many people ask that where it comes from. And what I think, the little poppy seeds inside the poppy head, they are so precious and they are so gorgeous. But because of the lack of the business, the lack of the marketing, people just don't know about them. They don't see them. So the whole mission of this poppy head business is to get those poppy seeds out of the poppy head. A little bit about my brand. My brand has thousands of followers in social media. It's over 11,000 on Facebook and 7,000 on Instagram. And I also designed pieces for big brands, even the Hungarian president's office. My brand has a good PR. It's shown many times on national TV channels and also printed media. My business started and still works from home. And basically, I'm proud of that. It's not because of not going bigger and not going faster. Working at home for me with 4 kids means a kind of balance that I can balance between the family and my business. And it turned out to be really good these days. Okay, how Magubo helps other artisans and crafters. The whole mission of Magubo is to educate these people. These people don't make a big amount of money to spend it on professional marketing advisors and etc. So what I think that they have to learn it themselves and do it themselves. And later on, when their business go bigger, then they can delegate these processes. And I think that if they learn it themselves, then they can brief the professionals much better. There are 3 ways that I teach these artisans and crafters. Is online courses, personal, online and offline one-on-one counseling, and offline workshops. I would like to tell a bit more about these 3. The online courses, basically what I do is I have a WordPress website with a course management system on it, and I do the course once, and several people can register on it at the time when they want and need the information. Because of this, because of the fact that no personal presence is needed from me, it can be really cost effective, because I do the course once and I can sell several times. Areas of marketing like Instagram and social media is changing so fast. Okay, there was a little problem with the connection. I hope it's better now. So online courses are cost effective because I do the course material once and I can sell it several times. There are areas where I have to refresh the course material every 6 months or 1 year. It's like developing really fast. Courses are, some of them are video courses, some of them are text courses. And the content itself, the knowledge that's inside of it, is specialized for artisans, crafters, and designers. All of my solutions are small business solutions. That is very important, because some people say, oh, well, I worked for a big company and I can help you. But at the big company, the marketing budget was like several millions of euros. And these companies have like marketing budget like 30 euros per month or 100 euros per month. Okay, so I have to give them solution to use that little money and use that really well. And I think that a really big advantage of Magubo, because other big companies many times cannot think small. And it's very important to think for these people in really small little parts. The courses are thematized, so there are like pricing courses and start courses and Instagram courses are really popular. The two most popular courses is pricing and Instagram. A little bit about the numbers. In my course system, there are more than 4,000 people registered at the moment. 200 of them learned at the pricing course. I teach them how to make a pricing system so they can also sell wholesale, not always go to craft fairs. Like in Hungary, craft fairs are very, very popular, as craft is still very traditional here. So we use all old technique, not just like the modern 3D printing and things like that. So basically basket weaving or working with silk, etc. And these people are really in problem today who didn't have a proper pricing, because they got used to that they didn't sell wholesale, they only sold at craft fairs. And now, because of the pandemic, the craft fairs are quit. And these people have to go really, really fast online to make a living. And that's a big problem. If they had a pricing system where it's wholesale and they could sell their products through shops and museum shops and other web shops, etc., then they could be much more stable at the moment. Okay. The topics are sometimes for beginners, sometimes are for advanced. On the online courses, there are more beginner topics. Those people who need advanced knowledge, they mostly come to the personal concealing. This is cost effective and they have instant access. So even the registration system doesn't need my personal interaction. People come, they register for the course, pay on PayPal, and they access the course right away. How I promote the courses is every year I make several mini courses that are free, that give a little bit of introduction what this course will be about, and they also learn to use my online classroom system.
De most először.
Is the voice okay? Okay. And through my mini courses, they also learn to use my online classroom system, so it will be familiar to them when they start using the bigger paid courses. Okay, the next one is one-on-one concealing, which is a personal 2-hour session when they bring their own questions. I send them a questionnaire a couple of days before. They send the questions. They send their links to their website and social media accounts, and I research their brands. So I get ready for the concealing session. They bring their own questions. What is the biggest problem for them at the moment? And I advise on them how to solve that problem or how to move forward. This is not regular concealing. Some people come regularly, like they come every month or every 2 months, and some only come like once or twice when they have a bigger problem that they face and they need solutions. What I do is I help them, tell them what solutions there will work, but I don't do it for them. So we talk through their marketing campaigns, but I don't do the pictures for them. I don't do the text for them. So that they have to do. This is how the whole thing can be cost effective for them, because if I would do all the little parts, then it would cost much more for them. I also recognize that some people come only once because they realize how much work it is to do a craft business professionally, and they don't want to face them. Because basically when they come to me, I give them like tons of homework. Later on, when they start to work on it in their studio, at their home, they can write me email or call me if they get stuck with one part or another. So they get help in the solutions. Okay, offline workshops. Every now and then I do offline workshops, which is very important, and we heard it in the previous presentation, that these people are lonely and work alone. And that's not only true for startups, it's true for artists and craftisans, that they work in their own studio, and people don't really understand their whole working process, and there's very few people they can talk about it. So meetups are very, very important to socialize. And the other thing it is important for artisans is to start cooperations. Like if someone makes metal part or jewelry, the other one makes leather bags, jewelry, then they can start a cooperation. They can design and make a product together, and they can do the sales marketing together, which is really helping them because if they have a similar target market, then A business's target market get to know B business, and B business's target market get to know A business, so they can expand. Offline workshops also very important, so not only they get useful knowledge, but personal interaction with me, so they can ask questions and get to know me. And usually after these meetups, there are much more one-on-one counseling requests. These meetups sometimes are organized by Markubo itself or other organizations like BVK, which is part of the craft code. I do trainings in Hungary and also in Romania, where is a very, very big Hungarian community. And several times they invite me to talk to them about craft business. I do it in person, and now because of the pandemic, I do it online. Okay, let's talk a little bit about success stories. First, I would like to tell you about Christina. Christina designing modern skull scarves using an ancient Indian technique. And she came several times in the first couple of years, like every month, every other month, to one-on-one concealing. And I told her how to make a WordPress website. She designed her own logo and small budget, but high quality packaging. She also built a big web shop herself. There are several like rental kind of web shops like Shopify. We have a Hungarian version for that called ShopRenter that she could build her web shop herself. The basics we went through together through the counseling, and then she could do the rest herself. Her biggest success that she quit her day job, and she also received a custom order several times from a local commercial bank that only found her on the internet. So she was not recommended or searched any other way. It was only her website that she made herself and her web shop that convinced the bank that she will be perfect for that custom order. Okay, some other success snippets. I have one of the crafters who built an email list of 500 within 3 months. There is another one, she's making bags out of fabric and vegan leather, and she made 30% online growth in 1 year. And there's another student who said that for 2 years after the brand building consultation, he didn't really have to do any marketing because he had so many custom inquiries. But I have to tell you that he did everything I advised him. One more thing about Magubo, which is very important, that the whole system is online. Many people start craft businesses during their time that they spend home with their little kids, and they do a career change. These people and artists and crafters, anyway, they don't really have lots of free time. So being online and doing this whole educational system in a digitalized way is very, very important, because they can learn wherever and whenever they would like. So they just log on to the classroom system and learn the next lesson, read it through. They can go back to another lesson and repeat that. So digitalization is a very, very important part in this project. Okay, that's all basically that I would like to tell you about this. Here is my website, Magubo, and in English you can find it. There's one page in English, the rest of it is in Hungarian. And here's my other links where you can reach me. If you have any questions, please send it to me in the messages chat box, how it's called, Zoom group chat box, and you're welcome to
Thank you.
answer that.
Thank you, Zsuzsi. This was extremely interesting.
Thank you.
I love the sentence where you write, he did everything I advised him. That's the best marketing sentence ever, of course, for your business.
Yeah, I feel many times then someone comes to me with big expectations, and I tell them and advise them, then do this, do that, do many things in business, and I know that they won't ever come again because they don't face that many work. Magubo only works if you do the work. It's like a medicine. You can buy them, but if you put it on a shelf, it's never going to work for you.
Exactly. Now the system is totally explained from your own experience, and that is, I think, a very strong basic point of view for everybody to understand. Thank you so much. I expect that many questions will arise. Many people will be interested and will know more about certain items. Thank you so much. Great presentation. Okay, Tanya, maybe you can take the floor and introduce the Finnish examples that will follow.
Yes, thank you very much, and thank you for to the previous presentators, because you have done and you are doing marvelous things. So actually, the next we are going to have two presentations from Finland, and the first one it is going to be another person now presenting it, and his name is Jari Ratilainen. He just joined the session at the beginning. I would like to give the floor to Jari first, and after that I will present the other one. So the other presentation, other practice. So the first one is Creaction, and it is presented by Jari Ratilainen. Sorry about my name there. Well, we were foreseeing. Perfect.
Okay, nice. So we are running a hub for creative industries called Creaction. It is a part of a project that we are currently running in Finland. and we have several actors in it. So in the Creation Hub, we get different actors from the creative sector to find new collaborative opportunities and cross productions which are based on real world or real market needs, and we try to give the partnering companies a look at things from new angles. So this Creation Hub system or way of working was developed in Vaasa last year, and we are continuing this year as well as part of this CREVE project, which is a national service for creative companies that are on their early stage, and we try to provide networking opportunities and business development opportunities for these companies. So some of the challenges that we try to solve. The first one, that the companies on the creative sector work in clusters, but the approach tends to be quite traditional and focuses on obvious solutions, which kind of limit the opportunities to create something new business models and income. So how are we trying to build these events? So we have four existing approaches brought together. So the first one is to have different actors come and join these hub events. The second one is that we facilitate the co-creation process so that we get things going forward with the teams. We try to find high quality cases from market or from prospective collaborative companies. And the final one is a goal orientation and working on these real cases which actually have proper impact and create value to the end users after we are done, or the companies are going forward with their ideas. So I can open up these a little bit more. So the first one, bringing the different actors together. We try to provide a platform for finding synergies and opportunities for collaboration and meeting new people. The companies present themselves at the hub events. So first we have these case companies which come in with their needs and try to do cross-functional or cross industry collaboration, so that we have these creative companies and actors from other sectors such as transportation or industry or something completely different. And we try to get the companies to first present their problems, and then the creative companies or the creative industry companies come up with their ideas. So we would build something new of value with the creative competencies that, for example, these small and medium-sized companies can offer to these larger companies as well. So the second one, the facilitation of the process. So we do not just shut the people in a room and hopefully we will come out some good outcomes, but we have some type of processes in place as well, and we integrate design approach and innovation tools and methods for co-creation between the collaborating companies. Normally when these type of events are held, the outcomes might not be that concrete, so we try to push it a little bit forward with the facilitating. In there, we use or try to find people who have design, business, or development experience or skills, so that we have something concrete to rely on that part. And the facilitators spar and guide the companies toward some concrete goal, and document and facilitate the discussions as well. So the third one, providing good quality cases and examples to help the companies looking outside the box. We have invited inspirational speakers to these events. Some examples, we had speaker from the Moomin characters to talk about commercialization, about IPRs. And then we had a designer manager from Kone, the company, the Finnish company who manufactures these elevators, to come and try to bring new points of view into the creative industry as well. And some examples that we kind of try to get people to understand the potential was, for example, this that for NASA is trying to develop new ways of building solar panels, and they recruited origami artists to find a way to make the solar panels open in a specific way, and just not relying on engineers to come up with the new solutions. They looked into this origami hobbyists to see, because they are kind of the experts on folding things in a specific way. Okay, and the fourth one, goal orientation and working on real cases. So we invited two companies to provide cases. One was a shopping center here in Vaasa, and they had some real live challenges and problems that they wanted to try and solve, and that kind of provided the goal for the workshop or the hub activities. And from a larger hub, we kind of transform into smaller open groups that take a specific problem from the like the sponsoring challenge sponsoring company, and try to work into smaller, more detailed, more concrete solutions to their problems. I'm just looking at the time, try not to go over too much. So resources that we need, basically a space for the hub activities, try to recruit the participants, facilitators, also some fees for the speakers go into this, and also trying to find the cases and the case companies. Evidence of success for these events, the companies are willing to join these activities, and the companies are active in opening their business and also providing their ideas from the creative side. We do have some concrete results from these. Unfortunately, I cannot share them yet, as some of them are still in development. And yeah, let's just go forward. Challenges for making these hub activities. One is obtaining the cases to work on. So it does require some work to contact the companies and get the ones that are willing to open up to their day-to-day business and share their problems that they are facing, or the challenges that they are trying to solve. The second one is a prejudice of sorts towards the creative industry, and also the vague value promise of it. So this is also one of the aspects that we are trying to solve with the hubs, that the creative companies try to crystallize their value proposition. What is the value of the creative industry and the outcome? and also trying to open up to case companies to look beyond the obvious and the easy solutions. So some concrete things to take into account. The value and the potential of the creative sector might not be clear and obvious to everyone, so it kind of requires a little bit of opening up for the case companies especially. Does the area have a cluster of creative sector and companies? Maybe I'll just take the co-creation outcome ownership. That's one key thing that has to be taken into account quite early on. If you have a group of companies, it should be somehow documented that who will do what, and if there is some type of monetary gain or other types of incentives in it, how will the ownership and outcome be divided between all the actors. With going through these hubs, design approach and the facilitation play an important role. So we use the design as a tool, but it might be something else as well. Yeah, I think that's 10 minutes quite quickly gone. If there's any questions, maybe I can answer if there's something that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Jari. This was really interesting. I'm looking at the chat box, but so far I haven't seen any questions. Maybe they will come up later on in the Q&A after the last presentation. Okay, Tanya, I'm moving back to you.
Yes, okay. If we just stop sharing this one so I just go and try to fetch the. Okay, and so this is second presentation from Finland, and I hope I will keep the time because normally I'm known to go over a little bit.
No problem, no problem.
Yes, just been slightly chatty for a Finnish person, but yes. So this practice is about Kvarken shop business, and I'm presenting this on the behalf of Ritva Vainio and Anelma Lehto, who are two brilliant craftswomen and also fantastic ladies. So this is what Kvarken shop business is about. It's a handicraft shop run by 8 independent craftswomen in one of the UNESCO World Heritage sites here nearby, near Vaasa, in a place called Mustasaari. And the main challenge is something that quite many craftspeople have been talking about. Profitability, of course, of the products, but is it worth to sell those through a retailer when your prices start to become a little bit too high for customers, or should you lower the quality? So this is a problem that the ladies had, and they wanted to sell their own products in a more customer-oriented price without adding any retail sales percentages and without lowering the quality of the products. So this was the main issue, to be able to sell their own products in a customer-friendly price. Of course, and there were other challenges, because it's not that common in Finland that craftspeople had their own shops or shops together. So therefore, there was a need to create a functional business model, run everyday activities, agree between the 8 persons how to run the activities, focus also on product development and innovation. And as we know that there might be sometimes slightly little time for that if you're a sole entrepreneur. And of course, the main challenge for all the crafts people, how do you find the customers and how do you get them into your shop? And then if you get them, how to manage the customer flow. So the shop started in 2019, 1 year ago, and it is in this region where there are annually about 50 or 60,000 tourists during summertime only. So the shop is only open during the summertime. The location is one of the positive things, but at the same time, it's a little bit far. Pardon me, the spelling mistake. You can actually do the bingo on any typos you notice there. The location is in this Kvarken region, UNESCO World Heritage region. And fortunately, the ladies also had the chance to start using the Kvarken logo. But there's also one negative thing about the premises, because the location is remote. It is far away. It's not that everyone just goes there because they just go and take go shopping during the daytime. So you really have to go there. There are also other things that are quite characteristics, because the shop is an old-fashioned shack, and there's no electricity, no water, etc. So the ladies started bringing water in canisters and using solar panels for electricity and for the payment systems. They also created indoor access for handicapped people and people who have mobility issues. And of course, then the last thing, because it's by the seaside on a big island, there's a cold wind that comes from the sea, but that's something you can't do very much about. So this is starting point, 8 independent craftswomen who then also started collaborating with the local people and local organizations. And they use the traditional idea of the place and storytelling and world heritage as one of the starting points for the business as well. Here is an image from the shop, inside the shop, with some of the products displayed. Among the product assortment, there are art ceramics, woolen products, silver, glass, objects, paintings, knitwear, woodworks, but also some local products like island and Breton, lamb, meat, and books by the local Björkeby cupboard makers. So besides the shop, instead of just running the shop, they started collaborating with different organizations, offering these work activity days. They also started collaborating with different events in the region, like the post-rowing event, advertised some sheep transportation in Archipelago, and most importantly, collaborating with tourist operators. And that actually was one of the starting points or kick-offs for different kind of activities they started working with as well, because they started helping tourists with different issues, such as providing them water, giving them an umbrella, a raincoat, or something when it was raining, and advising them where to go. And actually one of the paths for hiking starts behind the shop. So this is something that came there not as just a collaboration with tourist operators, but also it was based on a need of customers, because people, if a tourist information spot was closed, they simply had to ask someone. So that they went to the shop, to the craft shop, and asked where to go and what can they do and where can get water, etc. So that became part of the business idea and business model. So another picture from the shop with some happy tourists there. Sorry about this. Let's try to do the moderating at the same time. So the shop is open during the summertime, during summer months, from May to October. And so 8 women who run it between them, and they always have shifts, who works and when. But that's not enough, because of course there are 8 different craftswomen, and they have to learn. They had to learn about each other's products as well, but also about the region. for themselves, for their shop, but also for tourists, their target group. So they can advise them and find new opportunities from there and get people coming to the shop. So the business model has been evolving quite naturally. There's this initial business idea, but then things just started to evolve around it. So a simple business model allows them flexibility to modify whatever is needed and what the customers want, other opportunities and possibilities. So one of the key words maybe for the business model is empathy. Because they understand the users, their needs, and they listen to them. It's not only using the customer feedback, but it's really to understand, step into the shoes of another person. And that allows them to do certain rapid experiments. What might work, what might not work. And they use a lot of customer feedback also from this. Well, not only the verbal feedbacks, only that is on their guest book. And of course, the business model and ideas are rapidly transformed according to the need of the customers, according to the empathetic approach with rapid experiments. This is another key area for any company. How can I find customers? This group of CRAFTS women, they use low budget methods, such as collaboration with local actors and companies, social media, of course, events, road trips, bird watchers, also family trips on Sundays. They were still able to create quite a customer background there for themselves through quite low budget activities, and of course using authenticity and traditional elements like like outfits and stories to bring customers in. Then there's of course a problem of managing the customer flow, but again, there's a follow-up of customers and their feedback. And they can follow up the sales and participants, and of course collaborate with tourist organizations to see a little bit if there's need for more people to be in a shop or something else. So here are some tools to improve business model and develop it further, which are very, very cost efficient. As already said, empathy and listening to the customers, customer orientation, reacting quickly and reorienting the activity, rapid experiments, narration, and cooperation with all the stakeholders, such as tourist organizations. Some of the evidence of the success is that this group of women became independent very quickly. And there are new groups of customers all the time. People talk about them in social media. And this group of women is able to employ themselves. Of course, what comes to society, the community around them, is that there is increased collaboration. They have been helping, the shop has been able to help others in the village as well. But for the women themselves, improved language skills and improved mental well-being as well. Some of the challenges are, yes, the remote location with no electricity, no water, no running water, but with cold wind. So that's a little bit far also to go to the work every day during the opening months. But also something to agree on the work shifts according to situation. But it seems that this group of women have been very savvy and very good in organizing this. But despite sometimes the strengths are also points of development or challenges. To react quickly on customer needs, sometimes that has been challenging as well. But it says that the whole group has been very good in answering this challenge. But of course, the ongoing challenge is how to make customers happy with additional service and kindness again. Other challenges have been knowing each other's products well, and of course language skills, and managing the customer flow. But overall, it seems that the whole thing has been very successful, and the group has, as I said before, the group has become financially independent very quickly. So other lessons learned and success factors. In the shop where the products are displayed, display them well. Unify price tags, agree about things, how you do things, share stories between the group. Of course, an electronic payment system and cash, use both. This is not something you should take as, as something obvious, because, for example, in Nordic countries, people normally, they only use electronic payment systems, very little cash. But on the other hand, foreign tourists especially use cash. And of course, taking into account is all kind of customers and potential customers, like hikers, bird watchers, those who just want to go to the nature, the families with children. Those are very important things, because they get new customers through that, and people talk. There's always word of mouth. And especially look at this one, second last point is that it's not only about raincoats or water, but it's also about mosquito repellents they can lend and give. You can also use very low budget marketing processes, such as social media, Facebook, but also business cards and any articles and magazines, everything you can do. But there you also need your own activity and visibility. So this is something what the region looks like. So it's one big island between Finland and Sweden. And there is this tower, the dark gray tower that was mentioned there, Solkaret. And as you can see, there are also flags of Finland and Sweden. And here is a picture about the shop. These crafts women in traditional outfits. Pictures from inside the shop with products in there, but also with the shop when it was still empty and the ladies were still restructuring it. They actually renovated and did everything inside the shop. So that is another example of the big effort that the women did and made. So this something's their baby, and the baby seems to be quite successful and blooming. So yes, thank you very much. And if you would like to have any questions, you can then maybe ask them in the questions and in the Q&A session.
Okay.
Very much. I stopped sharing the screen. Sorry. That one first.
Thank you so much, Tanya.
Yeah.
Very interesting again.
I'm still joining them. So.
This is a great project, especially because they're female entrepreneurs. They have a very down-to-earth look upon business and marketing, etc. Liked it a lot, and from what I can read, others did as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
I really like it a lot.
Yeah, it is. It is. Was it foreseen to visit this shop during the seminar?
Yes.
Oh.
So that's a little bit
okay. Makes it feel worse again, but doesn't matter. Okay. We will have to find a way. Thank you, Tanya. So, dear folks, this was the last of the good practices that is presented during this seminar. I will go through what we saw today. Today we had 4 presentations, 4 good practices presented. That's better. We started with Italy. Mashad, the entrepreneur who lives in Canada and was so good to get out of his bed in the middle of the night to share his experiences with us. And he talked about the MIPDEM Murate Idea Park in Florence, which is an incubator, but a little bit more than an incubator. They don't only work with new and young businesses, but also with existing businesses that want to make innovative approaches, innovative steps forward. They work with a pool of mentors, which has grown from 12 to 70 in only 2 years' time, mentors from all kinds of businesses that help the mentees, but help them not as in do everything for them. They put the mentee in front of certain challenges. And this way, in this original way, there is a transfer of knowledge and skills. Obviously, the relation between both is based on trust. So this is a very particular kind of mentorship, which has had also very big successes. And then we moved to Zsuzsi from Magubo in Hungary. And she started her business from her own point of view, her own personal situation, having a few children, young children, not being able to get out of the house to work, to shop, etc. So she started up an online business. She uses and she advises other artists to use the creativity that is used for the crafts and make it into creativity in business, in admin, in marketing, and online courses, let's say. So she educates young entrepreneurs in both short mini courses that are for free, which are her promotion, and in paid for online courses. So most of her work is done online, as for her own shop, the own products that she sells, and for the mentoring courses that she gives. She also is in favor of synergies, because she gave us an example that through meetings, starting from the fact that most craftspeople work alone in their studios, if we put them together to meet and to exchange experiences, from there, sometimes synergies between two businesses can be born, which is another example of what we saw yesterday in Spain. And then, there was this very strong sentence. She said, this businessman did very well, and he did everything exactly as I advised. So her good advice should not be thrown away like that. And then we moved from Hungary to Finland, and we saw two totally different examples of good practices. We started with Jari's presentation of CRAFTS. CRAFTS being a hub for creative industries. They work through clusters of real life business people, real life cases, and then move on to innovation. Something that might seem as a traditional way of work can lead to innovative results. What Jari told us was that an open mindset is needed in from various points of view. Also because he says we often have to fight prejudices against the creative sector. And Jari, I already inform you that somebody asked us to elaborate a little bit on these prejudices in the session of the Q&A afterwards. From CRAFTS, we moved to Kvarken, this cultural heritage site in Finland. Kvarken Business Shop is an initiative of 8 female entrepreneurs who want to produce products of quality and sell them at what they call an own price setting system, so for an honest price without having interference from the retail sector. They face huge challenges, physical challenges. They are very remote, there's no electricity, no water, but they face them well, and they have built up a good relationship with the local people, also giving something back to the community, because they have become kind of a central point from where they help tourists with all kinds of practical issues. Okay, they have a very natural approach to business making and to making business grow, starting from basic things like listening to your customer and not wanting to push them to buy something, for instance. So those were the 4 cases that we saw this morning. I think we will move now to the Q&A. So I will first give the floor to Jari. Can you maybe briefly comment on the question of the of the prejudices, Jari, and then I will go through the other questions and see who else has got things to ask. Is that okay?
Okay, I can start.
Thank you.
Probably the main thing, it kind of rises from a vague value proposition of the creative industry. Some creative companies are more experienced with working in cross-industry collaboration. A good example of this is something related to marketing. But when we take something that is not as common, for example, something from an art sector, for example, or of that nature, for example, dance or painting or something like this, it becomes a bit more difficult to put it into a paper form. What is the value of it? And of course, it's a question on what side of the conversation should change their views. Is it the industry client, the energy company or transportation company or something else, or is it a question for the creative company? Do I understand the problems of it of the client company, and in what way am I trying to solve their problem? So it's also kind of a question of business acumen in a way. What else?
Yeah, there was also, Jari, a question for you again, since you are having the floor now. Elke asked, how do you think we can start a better cooperation between the industries and the crafts sector? Is there a way, or is it too difficult to reach?
I think this is kind of the way we have gone forward is trying to facilitate the discussion between the two sectors and with the hub activities. So first we try to find real world problems and kind of paint a picture on how the creative skills could be used to solve these problems or create something new. Of course, there is nothing in the way of creative companies doing this by themselves, but I think it requires an understanding or willingness to look it from the customer's point of view, in a way.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Did I answer it in an understandable way?
Less, yes. If there are still questions, maybe Elke can know. I think she said, thank you very much, Jari, very interesting openness. Okay, so I think your message has gone through.
It's a difficult question.
Yes, it is. And I know that in Belgium there is a temporary initiative that industries and crafts are brought together with some money from the state, from the regional state, just to encourage this collaboration. Money helps, often helps, fortunately. There was also a question, but not only for Jari, for everybody. The question is, should we offer money to mentors? Would then more mentors be available for young entrepreneurs? Or can we rely on the goodwill of everybody? That's another question that I picked up.
That is a possibility. The difficulty here is the sheer number of the mentors. I mentioned we have now something close to 70 mentors, and in order to have a good mix of skill sets, you want to have these numbers high. Given the available resources, paid mentorship will become very challenging. Also, we do rely on mentors to not see this as a job, as a way of income. It is their goodwill and their interest in the community that brings them to, in our case, to Murate Idea Park.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that would answer the question.
Thank you for staying awake, Mashad. Okay.
Yeah, I have an input for this question. I think if you do mentorship for free, it's not the question of mentors, it's the businesses that need mentorship. If you give the knowledge for free, many times they don't take it serious and they don't use it. And my idea is that if you do free counseling, free big courses, people don't take it, don't take the responsibility, don't do what they learned, and the counselor or the advisor's time is kind of wasted. And many times other companies that really need the help, they don't have the time of the advisor because he's or she is fully booked. I have an example for that. There's a Hungarian business community on Facebook. It's a big group, and I offered one of my biggest courses for the community, and there was they have to give some papers in and answer some questions, and we chosen a honey maker company. And it was not just the course, but consulting time, 4 times half an hour. And she didn't do the course, and she didn't use the counseling times. And I'm so sorry, because if we have chosen someone else, maybe she or he could use the knowledge well, and this way the knowledge was wasted.
It's a very good example, I think. Okay, there's another question. Some Japanese I lost it. Car companies introduce craftsmen into their creative processes. Do you believe it could be done by European big companies as well? I see already there is an answer to this from David. European car companies like Citroën have crafts interventions in their top models. I saw them in Revelations Paris. They had a stand showing how artisans worked in the car's finishings. So it is possible. And also Volkswagen works together with design students. So I think, Ines, your question is being answered.
If I can give my comment, State.
I'm sorry?
On the car question, this is Jari.
Yeah, I think it has been answered. Yeah, it has been answered by a few people. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, do we have other questions? While you are thinking, I'm going back to the chat box in which Shona already posted the website from the Crafts Code project. And in this website, you can find the registration of both yesterday's and today's presentations, as well as the chat, the group chat that we had yesterday morning and today. I see that no more questions are coming for the moment, Carlotta. So I think that at this point, we have gone through it, and maybe we can round up the seminar. I don't know whether.
Yes, I think, thank you, Hilde. And I would like to thank all the participants for your presentation and for the participation. As Hilde already said, all information will be available through our social network, but above all in our website. Please visit it and download everything you need. After this seminar, we will begin a follow-up action, and so we will keep in touch with you in order to improve our networking activities and to continue our process for a CRAFTS code project. You know, actually the worldwide situation obliged us to modify maybe some outputs foreseen at the very beginning of the process, but we will try to do it, and we will link and we will be update with you in other form, through email and through different kind of contact. Okay, so I thank you very much for the participation, and now I kindly ask to all project partners to keep connected, to stay in this Zoom platform, because you know we continue with our steering committee meeting, and I say goodbye to all other participants. Please keep in touch with us. We remain at your disposal in order to find innovative solutions, we hope, or ideas to support handicraft and craft sector in this difficult period. Thank you very much, and see you next time for another successful seminar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.